Hey everyone, and welcome to this my little channel. My name's Darren, otherwise known as the Maths Guru, which I'm hoping doesn't sound too pretentious. Lots of people always say to me, particularly when I'm teaching in the classroom, why did you become a maths teacher? And I take that as a huge compliment or a huge insult. I can't quite work out which. And what I tend to turn around and say is, well, actually, Coles and Tesco's were busy that day. They wouldn't employ me. Because lots of people go, basically teachers just, they're the ones who can't get a real job. Well, actually, I do have a real job, and I love being in the classroom. But how I got into that was a little bit weird. I hated maths with a passion at school. I loathed it. Tuesday mornings, I had double maths as a year 7 with Mr. Chilvers. And, no disrespect to Mr. Chilvers, I'm sure he was a fabulous teacher, but I just didn't understand maths. And I would wake up every Tuesday morning and I'd go, Mum, I don't feel very well. And she'd go, if I take you to the doctors and I find out that you are sick and I've taken a day off work, and I'm like, oh, and by the way, Mum, sorry, but that's actually true. And in the end, I would go to school. It was easier because if the doctors actually found out that I wasn't really sick and I was just wanting to get out of maths. Ooh. Anyway, so I went all the way through school and I had no idea what I was doing. I would get to the end of year, I would cram for my exams, and I just got through on luck. And the weird thing was I always ended up in the top groups, which made it worse. And for about 4 years, I had the same maths teacher. And unfortunately, I just didn't understand them. They would talk for 20 minutes to the second. They would then sit down, pick up their Times newspaper and talk for or rather read and do the crossword. And we would have to sort of start halfway through an exercise. And I would always put up my hand and go, well, excuse me, do you mind if I start? And it was like, no, Smith, you would start halfway through the exercise. And I hated it. 4 years of my life. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And so ultimately I ended up doing electronics. I ended up doing a degree in electronics at university because my best friend at the time, Catherine, did the same thing. And I was like, I actually have no identity of my own, so I'll just go out and do something else. It was at university that a teacher called Rona, and hi Rona, if you ever get to watch this, you were an inspiration, and thank you very much for seeing in me what I probably didn't see in myself. And she said to me one day, she said, look, Darren, why don't you come in and help out in one of my lessons? And I'm like, no. And she was like, no, come on in. I just need someone to give me a bit of a hand. And she had an interesting group of kids. And I was there. And no word of a lie. If you had knew me when I was there, I was quiet, I was shy, I had no sense of humour. I probably have no sense of humour now. Note to self. And I went in and I was like, I can do this. This is awesome. I can do this. And I sat beside one of the kids. And a kid called Scott. I won't say his surname, but he'd had a pretty difficult life. Sadly, his sister had just passed away, and I don't think his mum and dad had handled it particularly well, and who would when one of your kids passes away? But my task was to try and help him understand the concept, and to this day I can't remember what the concept was. And so I sat with him and sort of all bushy-eyed and fresh-faced, I was like, oh, this is how you do it. He looked at it, he looked at me, and he went, you shit. I didn't understand. I tell you what, no word of a lie, I got up, I walked out, and Rona was saying, where are you going? And I'm like, no. No, he swore at me, and no, I'm going home. I'd much rather sit at home and be a loner. And she went, try again. And I sat down. And I was like, all right, then I'll give this a go again. And by luck, I happened to find a different way of doing it. And Scott sat there, and he looked down, and he went, nah, you're still rubbish. Do soul destroying. When a kid sits opposite you and tells you you can't teach, it is absolutely soul destroying. And so I was like, I looked at Rona and she said, try again. And I went, all right then. So I did it one more time. And I have to say, I will never forget the look in Scott's eyes. It was at that moment he went, oh, is that what you do? He put his head down and he started working. Now, I always say that to me, there is no better feeling than being able to help somebody else, to be able to pass on and get them to appreciate and understand what it is that they can do that they couldn't do before. And basically, I just said, well, I'm not going to do engineering anymore. I hated it. I was at university doing a course I didn't like, and I became a teacher. Now, the reason I stay in teaching, he says, having left twice and keep coming back, because I really miss the classroom, is that I know what it's like to be in a classroom. I knew what it was like to be in a classroom for 4 years and not understand, to be scared and not be able to ask for help, to feel so out of my depth I didn't know what I was talking about. And Catherine, thank you so much if you're watching, because you let me copy your homework for 4 years. Much respect. Yeah, that wasn't at all stressful. But I got through, and I got to a point where I was like, do you know what? I am never going to, as a teacher, be there and allow any of my students to not understand. Now, I think maths is all smoke and mirrors, and I think a lot of maths teachers out there make it too hard. They make it too complicated. They try and prove how wonderful maths is and all the intricacies, and I'm like, do you know what? Just teach it as it is. Yeah? Just teach it so that kids can understand it, but make it funny, make it humorous, make it real world. And that's very much what I try and do. And hence these videos are my way of A, having fun because I record them, but B, hopefully there are people out there who can just go, do you know what? I understood that. Thank you, and can do some math. So look, I don't know how long this has lasted for. Wow, 6 minutes talking about myself. How unusual. Thanks very much for watching it. And thanks very much for watching my videos. If you can do me the honor of getting my videos out there in sort of in any way that you can, getting people to watch and hopefully enjoy mathematics, then I've done what I set out to do. I'm not here to get rich. I'm not here to be famous. I'm not here to do anything else other than get you, the viewer, and kids out there, and in fact adults, to watch this and go, do you know what? I get that now. So have a good day. Have a good evening. And look, I'll see you again soon.